Hello everybody, we have two patches to go over. One came out yesterday and one came out today for Borderlands 3. I will have the links for them in the description if you would like to go over them yourself, but I will be going over them for you. For the release yesterday, the patch, they did more performance type stuff. So for the performance, they did for PC, reduce the amount of texture streaming that was occurring when aiming down sights. Addressed a reported concern where certain users with a lot of people in their friends list saw more frequent hitching, implementing general stability improvements. Now this is nice. I know they go more into it later, but a really big FPS bug that was happening was when you had that notification pop up. Oh, your friend got this, your friend reached this level, your friend did this mission. That would make your game lag a lot. So they did a lot of improvements to that to fix that. It's very nice. General fixes and improvements. Addressed and reported issue where Kilovolt's storm shield attack does not disable the tiles around Kilovolt, resulting in the entire floor being activated. Oops. Now, I was wondering what was happening there because, yeah, in the Kilovolt fight, he would just make the whole floor shock. And, like, I was like, is he supposed to shoot the floor with something? Like, how do you survive that? Because you'll automatically go down if you're on True Vault Hunter anyway. So now I know it was a bug, and I never even saw him do it correctly, so it'll be nice to fight him and see him do it correctly. That should make Kilovolt easier for you guys. Addressed a potential progression blocker in the mission Footsteps of Giants. I'm not sure what this is. If someone wants to explain this in the comment section, I will pin it. Addressed a reported issue where Guardian rank had the potential to become non-functional and or the player could potentially lose Guardian rank tokens into the negatives. Now I know we have been looking for this, and what has it been, a week? Probably been a week since I made my video, so it wasn't too bad, okay? We got it fixed. It should never happen again. My video became irrelevant. But no, we shouldn't have this issue no more. I'm not sure how they fixed it for people that were in the negatives. You should let me know. Like if you were negative 70 or something, what happened to your Guardian rank? Did you stay negative? Did they get you positive? Please someone explain that to me because I wasn't negative, so I don't know what happened there. Modified vending machine, so it will now sort items by rarity. That doesn't really matter to me much, but that's cool. Console FOV is now set to 75 by default. This will not affect players who have already started the game. I didn't have a problem with the FOV, but I guess I'll try it on 75. Maybe it looks nicer. Special prompts for particle text, TDR guns, critical, immune, are now properly localized. That's good. I guess I really didn't notice that, but good fix. Addressed a reported concern that certain players experienced where the vehicle's boost could continue into the next map. I don't think that is that major of an issue, but I guess that's a good fix. I never had it happen to me, but I don't see how it'd be that big of a deal, but at least they fixed it. They addressed it. Addressed a reported concern with the porcelain pipe bomb where it set off multiple explosions when colliding with objects. I'm really glad they fixed that. I mean, there was a really big exploit. You can call it whatever you want, but I think it was an exploit where you could one-shot Tyrene and Grave Ward. Well, not one-shot, but you'd kill them extremely fast. Kind of ruined the game in the beginning. This grenade was never meant to explode multiple times. All enemies in the Borderlands universe are now safe from being instantly melted by radioactive poop. I like how Borderlands jokes around with everything. Even stuff they messed up, they're like, oh, we could joke around with it. Why not? The UI adjusted the verbiage for left stick and right stick inside the Russian localized version of the control options menu. Obviously, that don't really affect me at all, but cool. Addressed a reported issue where certain users experienced a failure of the audio to play when spending skill points in the UI. I never really noticed that. The text is now correctly marked invalid when you enter an invalid email address on the Shift account creation page. Now that's game breaking, right? Addressed a reported issue where the item of the day item card would flash briefly before displaying on a vending machine. Okay. Addressed a reported concern that certain players were served an unread mail icon when they didn't have mail to read. I don't think the mail's that important when you're end game, but I suppose while you're playing through the game, that's nice. Iron Bear button prompts will now correctly update if you rebind your controls. I guess I never experienced that, but that would be quite annoying, kind of like the restock button. I hope they fix that at some point. I don't think this did it yet, but at one point I hope they do. Modified various features and elements of Crazy Earl store. I should probably look into that later. Addressed a reported issue where subtitles wouldn't display until after the initial cutscene. Yeah, I think I've experienced that a few times. Addressed an issue experienced by certain players that social notifications would become stuck on screen. That one was really annoying. I'd have that like 2 to 3 times a day, and I'd have to close my whole game. You can't even quit to the main menu and come back in. You'd have to close your whole game to get it off your screen. But they fixed it now, so that's convenient. Addressed the player concern that certain item preview images were failing to load inside the player bank. Yes, that was annoying. You'd go down to the bottom to your shields and to your grenade mods, and you'd see gun pictures on them, and you're like, what, those aren't guns? Because it'd say the right name, but it'd still have the gun picture. It was really strange. I'm glad they fixed that. PC only addressed an issue reported by certain PC players where the focus from the mouse last known location was sticking around, and even when playing with a gamepad. Addressed an issue reported by certain players where the cursor would snap to an unintended location in the UI. Okay, I haven't really experienced that, I don't think. Split screen and online play. Addressed a concern reported by certain players that the dialogue volume faded too low before switching to echo audio during split screen gameplay. Addressed a concern reported by certain players that sounds were quiet or missing for the second split screen player if they were moved too far from player 1. I can see how that could be buggy. Addressed a concern reported by certain players that 3-player groups were having trouble matchmaking with an additional solo player. Addressed a reported concern experienced by certain players that in split screen, one player's sprinting animation could be interrupted by the other player's opening the echo. Oh, that's annoying. I'm just going to open up my echo to stop your sprint. Addressed a concern reported by certain players that in split screen where one player's aiming down sights could be interrupted by the other player's opening the echo. That would be annoying. Addressed a handful of reported client replication issues. Addressed Tiny's pizza bomb so it displays correctly for clients. Modified certain audio elements that were reportedly looping for clients. Addressed a reported player concern so the guardian skill dead man's hand now functions properly. Player icons are now pinned to the side of the minimap when playing in any kind of multiplayer. Nice. So that's the patch for yesterday, September 26th. This one's already live. You already have it. Should be pretty nice. A few more fixes that would be nice is just the button mapping of the ammo buying, I guess. That really bothers me. And then also when you look at something, sometimes it glitches and stays on your screen. I'm sure you've seen it in some of my videos where I'll look at a gun and just the picture stays on my screen. And it's really annoying. Until I look at another gun, it'll go away. Sometimes it does it with grenade icons, ammo icons. I hope they patch that here soon too. That's a quite annoying bug. Alright, now for the fix today. This is more character and weapon based to buff and balance. I didn't expect them to even do this because I don't even remember them doing this in Borderlands 2. So I'm kind of excited. So we'll start with the sniper rifles. The critical damage is increased by 20%. Fire rate increased by 15%. Time to aim down sight reduced by 15%. Time to equip reduced by 20%. So they super buffed snipers. Snipers are very relevant now, which is crazy because the Lyuda was already very strong. I imagine it's going to be a lot stronger now. I'm actually really excited for that because I love snipers in Borderlands, I must say. I hope I get a nice shock one. Pistols. Increased damage on all TDR pistols by 15%. Increased damage on all doll pistols by 15%. Increased damage on all Children of the Vault pistols by 20%. Reduced damage on Jacob's pistols. Reduced damage on Torque pistols. Now, yes, Jacob's pistols definitely needed a nerf. Don't disagree with it. They were really strong. They carried me through all of the game until I was level 50. I'm not even kidding. From 1 to 50, Jacob's pistols. Doesn't matter the level even. They carried me. And I'm sure they're still pretty strong. These other buffs, I'm not sure about. I don't know if they're really necessary. I didn't really use these much. But I'm sure they were, I guess. Maybe I will use them more now that I know they're buffed. Malawan manufacture. This one's crazy to me. All Malawan weapon damage increased by 25%. All Malawan weapon fire rate increased by 20%. Now, I think this should be the other way. I am really confused, actually. Like, I think Maliwan's overpowered. Have you seen my Cutsman video? Did you watch my boss rush yesterday? Maliwan is very overpowered, in my opinion, so I am quite surprised they buffed it even further. Makes it fun for me. I love the Cutsman, so I'm sure there's plenty of other Maliwan weapons I've used that I loved too. So I'm excited. Atlas manufacturer, all Atlas weapon damage increased by 25%. I don't even know. I don't ever use Atlas weapons, but I guess they're buffed now, so maybe I will try them some point. Miscellaneous adjustments. Jacob's assault rifles damage increased by 20%. That's really nice. I like Jacob's assault rifles a lot. Doll SFG damage increased by 10%. I don't think that was necessary because a lot of Doll SFGs are very strong. Vladov heavy weapon damage increased by 25%. I don't use heavy weapons really. E-Tech TDR shotgun damage increased by 50%. I don't even know what an E-Tech TDR is, but that's a lot of increase. Apparently they're really underrated. Hopefully I can find out what they are and try them out. 50% is a really huge buff. Now, legendary modifications. Kings and Queens Call fire rate reduced by 50%. I mean, that was necessary, obviously. The Kings and Queens Call was very overpowered on things like Grave Ward, where you could just non-stop crit. So they slowed it down by 50%. I still think it's a good weapon, but it needed the nerf. Firestorm and Storm base charge times were reduced to 1 second, down from 2. I mean, that's nice. The Firestorm charge is quite annoying. I think it's a really good weapon, but it's nice that they made it even quicker. I should probably use it more now. Now they did some Grave Ward balances. Attacks of Grave Ward now scale based on level. That must explain why he deals no damage on TVH and Mayhem 3. Because, I mean, you get hit by stuff and you're like, okay, did it even hit me? It did the animation of hitting me. So now it should probably deal more damage and maybe you'll even go down from it. That should be fun. It makes the fight harder. Reduced overall health by 20%. Thank God. I think he was way too tanky prior. They nerfed his health. I am very thankful for that. Increased resistance to elemental damage. Elemental chance resistance increased by 70%. I don't even know what that means. Does that mean like you're not going to be able to DOT him much? Elemental resistance increased by 30%. Elemental DOT duration taken reduced by 30%. So yeah, like using the Cutsman might not even be viable really because they nerfed the DOT a lot. Miscellaneous changes. Hollow Point Guardian rank has now been temporarily disabled. We plan on addressing this further in a future patch. Sadly, I haven't even used Hollow Point yet, but I'm assuming it didn't work as intended. Vault Hunters should no longer scream when affected by a DOT while shields are active. I didn't really notice that. Vending machines will now be restocked with higher quality item of the days. That's nice. Maybe you'll see some legendaries every now and then. That's pretty cool, actually. Because yeah, I've never even looked at an item of the day and I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy that. No, never. I thought they're always crap. Legendary loot drops have been balanced throughout the game. Crew challenge enemies will drop their intended specific loot, and some enemies like Troy and Rampager will be a bit more stingy and no longer drop legendaries every kill. That's pretty nice. I mean, I thought the legendary drop rate was way too high, so I'm very thankful for this. Compared to Borderlands 2, it's probably still very high. So I'm glad they nerfed legendaries. I'm sorry for everybody who's upset about that, but I'm glad they did. Because I have way too many already. Alright, they did some Vault Hunter adjustments. Now some of these are necessary. And I bet a lot of you will be happy about this. Zane. Everybody's saying he's underrated. I don't personally think he's underrated, but a lot of people do. So they're going to be really happy about this. His Digiclone damage is increased by 38%. That's going to be fucking insane. I don't know. That's just going to be insane. I can't imagine. He's dealing 40% more damage almost. Wow. Okay. Drone damage increased by 50%. That's something he needed. I really hated his drone. I mean, his shield is what I used all day, every day. So, I mean, I'm glad they buffed his drone. It's funny because I was about to make a drone build today before they buffed it. So, now that they buffed it, the drone build's going to be even more fun. Cryo bullets damage penalty removed. Drone rocket damage increased by a lot. Almighty Ordnance rockets damage increased by 75%. Wow. So the drone got really, really buffed. It should be really good now. Well, maybe not really good, but it should be on par. Amara, Guardian Angel health restoration reduced from 100% to 50%. I'm not sure what that means. I haven't used her yet, but it looks like that skill was pretty overpowered. Glamour damage penalty reduced from negative 30% to 10%. So that sounds like it was a buff. I don't know what Glamour is, but it's nice. So she got like nerfed a little and buffed a little. Fl4k got nerfed. Gorillas in the Mist duration reduced from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. Gorillas in the Mist critical damage bonus reduced from 50% to 25%. I'm sure he'll still be really good, but he did get nerfed a little bit. Alright, so that should end the video talking about the newest updates. How do you feel about it? Which one do you like the most? Which one do you dislike the most? Thanks for watching. Hello, thank you so much for checking out my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to see some more of my content, please subscribe to the channel. Have a great day.